Yeah, once again, good morning everyone. This is Capstone project. So once you are into this project, this is the Capstone project. You can see there are some specific instructions which are given. Okay, so please go through these instructions carefully. So the idea is that you need to prepare your resources as per the given specified. I'll describe about the objectives, but before that, let me start the lab so that once it is green, you can work on that particular lab. So start the lab. So this is orange, this is yellow. Let us wait till green. So the objective of this lab is basically like you have to deploy a PHP application with what we call as the prerequisites which is given to you. There is already one instance which is given to you for an entry into the cloud. What we need to do is that we have to deploy this PHP application, and also we need to deploy this SQL server also as a backend to this website so that it should communicate. But remember, this SQL server should be in private internet, private intranet, that is private net. Okay, and your application should be on your load balancer. On your load balancer, this is a PHP based application. We need to install all kind of things. I mean, like your MySQL or maybe what all Amazon. Requires web servers to this particular server and keep it into the required application. So maybe we need to take an AMI also for that and then deploy that particular application. So the instructions are given, the requirements. So the initial chart is also given to you. So you have a host also, Bastion host, where you can log in from the internet also using the internet gateway. And we need to deploy a database server also, and also an application server where it should be against the load balancer as well as your auto scaling. So you see this one, there are subnet 1 and subnet 2 for private. You can see 0 and 1 slash 24. Similarly, private subnets, you have 1 and 2, that is slash 23, 2 and 4. So before this one has started, yeah, I can show you the same thing I have mentioned. Please inspect. So I had noted down the private subnets, okay, private and public. You see this one? So you can understand this one. Private subnet 1 and private subnet 2 are 2 and 4, that is slash 23. And public subnet 2 and public subnet 1 is slash 24. Please inspect the conditions, the things which are there. We have various security groups also given to you. ALSB, ALBSG, Bastion, example, inventory, all these things are created to you. Okay, let us also go through the VPC. Let us also go through the subnets. Let us also go through the security and also the AMI. There is no AMI as of now. We need to create the AMIs. Okay, so let me see till it starts. So here you can see once this is done, last we need to keep across in the PHP parameters into this maybe example endpoint username of the database in your systems parameter. This system manager. This is another service where you can keep your parameters inside this particular one. I'll demonstrate one by one. So this is the project deliverables. We need to deploy the application and also submit the diagram, final diagram. So also we need to submit a written summary. Of course, you can give as a project notes. So this is the two files which are given to you. You can download this one. Maybe you can say save as, save link as, which already I have downloaded, and also the zip file, which is mainly meant for what we call as your PHP application. You can unzip that and then deploy that. So we will be using these two resources also during our part of our course. Okay, so good that our lab is ready now. Our lab is ready. So yeah, you can see this region. 180 minutes is given time to you. So I'll deploy this AWS application. So you see this one. This is your management console from Walker Labs. So I will make a one or two sessions more. Duplicate, maybe one more. So here I will show you this EC2. In this first one, I'll show you the EC2, and the second one, I will take this VPC, and the third one, I'll use RDS. These are the three services which we will be using in the initial stage. So you can see this particular one. Let us inspect what are all the things which are there. There is one server which is given to you, which is called as Bastion. Okay, you see this one. This is your public IP address. I can copy this public IP address. Let us inspect. So Bastion. Again, this is your public IP. Okay, and also just ensure we spoke that. So you can see that the private IP is in 10.00.27. You see this one, 00 is public subnet, where you can access internet also. This is your private public sub 1, which is there. Just make a note. And also inspect the other services which are there. The other services, like in your EC2 dashboard, you just explore and see the security groups, which I mentioned. All those things are there. You can see this inventor app, Bastion SG, example SG. All these things are pre-prepared for you. Okay, so also you need to have your putty to log in into the server. Okay. Putty, and of course I will be speaking about some other things also as needed. So in your VPC, there is a VPC which is created for you. That is called as an example VPC. Okay, please make a note of all these things. Example VPC. We will be using entire lab. We will be using this example VPC as part of whether you create EC2, whether you create your RDS, or whether you create everything will be in this VPC only, not default one. And just go through the subnets also. Go through the subnets. As I mentioned that we have 4 subnets: public, private. Okay, private, public. The same thing with the values which are given here. Okay, we will be using only these subnets which are there. Right. So this is your VPC dashboard, and in your RDS, nothing is there. Nothing is there. You see this one, no DB instance or no security groups, nothing. Really. Okay, you can go through the subnets, nothing is there. So now we need to start our exercise. We need to start our exercise. So this is the prerequisites which is there. So first step is that I'll finish off the backend. I'll finish off the backend. There are basically 2 steps which we need to do here. You see this one. The first step is that we need to create a DB subnet group and then create the DB. Create the DB. So this DB, the prerequisites as given, as I mentioned, this is your worker. It should be a multi-availability zone. It should be a multi-availability zone. Please remember that is the prerequisites which are given. So the first and foremost thing is that create your subnet group. So create a DB subnet group. So here the requirement is very clear. I made a short notes also. I can share it later. Create a DB subnet group. You can give name as DB subnet group. This is mandate which we have done in one of our earlier exercises. Okay, in description I'll give this description as example, maybe name as example DB and example DB subnet. Okay, the same one. Your example, maybe example, your VPC should be your example VPC, right? And here, please remember, we need to create this in private. Private subnet 1 and private subnet 2 will be your availability zones. Okay, your availability zones. Maybe first one and second one is good for us. Please use only these 2. Don't use any other things. Okay, and select this one, the private subnets whichever are applicable. So private subnets which I mentioned here, you can see here the private subnets are 2 and 4. Okay, so select those things. 2 and 4. This is the one, and 4 is this is the one. Okay, so that the instances of the database will be launched only in these 2 subnets. So just say create. Right, it is complete now. So we are ready to create a database. Now creating MySQL RDS instance. Very important one. Please ensure this database instance what we are doing is chargeable. So here in Workaram, it's absolutely $60 credit is given. We can use this particular one. Don't try in free time. So here, especially with these parameters, just use this standard create, the same procedure, MySQL, choose MySQL or Aurora. So we are comfortable with MySQL, good. So use this the one, and you can select this development test. Okay, scroll down, select this multi-agent. If you are using free tier, this is masked completely. This is masked. So you are using development test. Go to multi-agent. Go to multi-agent. Don't use single. Okay. So the database identifier, it is given very clearly what should be the name. So database identifier can be example username admin. So follow that. So this one I make it as an example. So this is admin and password is lab-password. lab-sswrd. So here also I give lab-passwrd. So I'll just make a note. Username is admin. Password as lab-passwrd. Okay. So here please select this burstable class. Okay, burstable class and T3 micro. The prerequisites is the T3 micro only. That has 2 CPU and you can see this 1 GB RAM. So that has 2 CPU. The difference between your T2 micro and T3 micro is T2 micro has 1 CPU, 1 GB, T3 has 2 CPU and 1 GB RAM. So it's okay. Your storage, don't select this SSD. Okay, general purpose SSD is okay. By any chance, if you are getting provision, change it to general purpose and give the allocated storage is 20 GB. Fine. You can enable auto scaling up to 1 TB, no problem. So don't select this your default VPC, select your example VPC. Select your example VPC. The subnet group has already appeared because we have already created just few minutes back. Publicly access, no. VPC security group, delete this particular one default and use this what is that example DB. Okay, use this example DB. That is the security group which we need to use. Okay, and if you want, you can enable backup. Password authentication is default. The port number is 3306. Yeah, here additional 3306. Password configuration. The database options, you need to create an initial database name. So what you can do is you can create an what is the database name? DB name as example DB. Example DB. You can write that. So here I mentioned that DB name example DB. Right. So backups, if you want, you can enable. Otherwise, no. For us, not required actually. You can disable the backups. Scroll down. You have to must disable this enhanced monitoring. Please disable that. Otherwise, you may not be able to create the RDS instance. Scroll down. So enable auto miner is okay. You can leave. So this is your monthly estimated since you have used T3 micro and multi-agent. Yes, these are the charges which are there. Okay. So and also your storage, if it is auto scaling, then this is the total $29 which is applicable. So now create the database. So you see this one, disable monitoring, and now okay, your first task, that is task step 1 is almost done. Wait for a few minutes. You should be able to see this creating database. Once it is created, you should get an endpoint. You should get an endpoint. So as of now, there is no endpoint. So just click that example. You should see endpoint. So once the database is available, you should see the endpoint. Wait for a few minutes. Yeah, this completes our first step. So meanwhile, we will go ahead with the step 2. So here I have a EC2 Bastion host. I'll also create a Cloud9 environment. Okay. So this is my second step. You can see Cloud9. I will use this project ID and also example VPC subnet as a public subnet and create using this IAM role as cloud service, AWS service Cloud9, which is inbuilt. Okay. So here create an environment. I give the name as project ID. This description is optional. Create Okay, I'll use this. T2 micro is okay for us. Linux is okay. Yes, I'll use this. By default, it has taken this AWS service role for Cloud9. In network settings, I use this example VPC, and also I will use this public subnet. Okay, see this public subnet 2. Public subnet 2. Okay, so just proceed to the next step. Yeah, create the environment. It should take a couple of minutes to get the environment created. Just wait. Meanwhile, you can verify whether it's still in creation. Maybe you can start refreshing. It will take 3 to 4 minutes of time. To get your endpoint. You see this one? You should get an endpoint here. No, not yet. Just get back. So the environment is ready. You can see here. The prompt is also here. Now, just ensure that when you say ping www.google.com, ping about yes, it is pinging. So that's fine. So let us proceed with the next steps which we need to do. So here, in this get the project resources. So here we get the project resources example.zip. And also much before to that, we will do some kind of updates in this particular server, installing all this, especially LAMP and PHP and MariaDB server also. Okay. So I'll say sudo yum update -y. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll copy the other things. Yeah, the installation is done. Let me install HTTPD and MariaDB server also. So these are some of the steps which we need to do, and also we need to start the service of HTTP. Okay, so we have started, and also we can keep it in enable HTTP. So this is a must. We need to do that. So now your web server is ready. So what I need to do is that I'll get the project code from yeah, I have copy paste using wget. Yeah, so you should see this main.zip has been I can say unzip main.zip cd. This opens this AWS Capstone, right? And also I have this country data MyDump also, SQL file also. Unzip example. Yeah. So I have all these files. What I do, sudo cp var www.html. Please copy all the project over there. You can see var www.html for the file should be there. You don't require sudo run your files are there. Just check whether all the project is running or not. So you can check using this particular one. Go to EC2 service. Copy the IP address of your AWS project, the public IP, and verify whether your is working or not. If not, open this port 80 if it's not showing your website. Yeah, it's not showing. So what you do, go to security, right? Security group. See this, we don't have this port 80 opened up. So I add this rule, port 80. This is save rules. Yeah, this should show my website. You can see website running, but the thing is that we don't have connectivity to the backend, so it will not show any. It's not picking up any queries. We will do that part also, right? So for that, what we are going to do, we need to wait till we get the endpoint. So let me just see whether my database is ready or not. It's almost through. Yeah, I can see my endpoint coming over here. I just copy this endpoint. So this is my endpoint. Okay. So now let me also go further. How to access my database server, right? So for accessing my database server, you need to open this particular port uh, of a Cloud9, to this example DB. We need to allow access to the server. We will do that. But before that, I'll just help you how you can frame the syntax. So what we can do here, I will also get the dump file, which is already there, but this is the URL which is already given over there in the prerequisites. You can download both from this Capstone project itself, which is there at the bottom. Here you see zip file and SQL dump file. Okay, so again, what I can do is I can go to project ID and say this paste. Not here. I should go back to my home directory and run this file. So this is the paste. Yeah, you got your file. This is your dump file, country data. This we need to export to our database server. So our database server is already ready with this particular endpoint. So we will learn about how you can frame the syntax. So what you can do, just log in and first test the server whether you are able to log in and, or not. So I'll replace this endpoint, okay, with this RDS, which I have distributed. Okay, this is MySQL. I tell you, but it won't connect. We need to open this example DB also. I'll show you here. It won't connect. So the security group. Okay, so we have example database group. So what I'm going to do, I will edit this one, edit inbound rules. I'll allow MySQL, okay, to not anywhere, to I'll say SG, or maybe Cloud9, which is the group, this particular one, and say same. Yeah. So now let's fetch this one. Ask for password lab-uss.wrt. Yeah, I'm able to log in. Show databases. The initial database which I have created should be there. You can see here use example DB, that is the database which I have created, and sorry, use example DB. Yep, and let us check any tables. Show tables, no tables. So I'm just quitting. I'll import this one file. So you can see this. This is a country data dump.sql. So how to import is given here. MySQL. This is the syntax which I made. Just replace this one with what we call endpoint. So this is my endpoint example dot. ensure that the file country data input is there in this current directory, and then do that. Yes, it is asking for password. Yeah, the database is imported successfully. You can verify using once again logging and verify according to --p. Okay, show databases. Should be example db, use example db. Okay, show tables. Yeah, you have one country data panel. Okay, select as from country data panel and say you have all the records. See this one. Okay, so now this part 2, the section is also almost ready. I just did this particular one. Now, after having everything ready, what you can do, you also need to do one more thing. See here, when I go to cdvar www html, you see there is a PHP file, get parameters.php. So, cat get parameters.php. You see there is this PHP file, it's requesting for system parameters like example endpoint, example username, example password, and example database. So this we need to update in what we call as I'll just get this particular session in system manager. I'll open the service system manager. You can open this, provide all the parameters. You see this parameter store. Okay, give it a parameter. Endpoint. The first parameter I'm going to provide is the endpoint. And this is a string. The value is just copy this endpoint. Ensure that no spaces etc. are there. Okay, just create a parameter. Yeah, still more. Username is admin. Okay. Next one is password is lab password. And the last one. This is the database which we have created. So the database name is example DB, right? Here also we have written example DB. That's the database. Yes, this is done now. So what is our next code, next action is that since this EC2 is created now, take a backup, AMI backup of the complete Cloud9 which we have given. You see this, but ensure that your the server is running, and now you should also see the query also should happen because the database is now connected. Yeah, this is not happening. So what we need to do is that you modify the IAM role. Okay, we need to attach this one to inventory IAM role, then only it can connect to the inventory. Okay, so how to do that? Go to your AC2, select under actions, security, modify IAM role. Okay, choose an IAM role, example inventory app role. So this is the one which we need to provide access. Okay, and now you say same. Yeah, see this. You see this one now. It is perfectly collecting the data. So once after you see this, if there are any troubles, you need to verify accordingly and then publish accordingly. So now everything is okay. Take this AMI backup now. So under actions, you can say again images and template, create an image. Okay, so image name I can say web instance, web instance, or I can say web instance project. So this 10 GB enough for us. Add volume. Okay, that's enough with the standard parameters. So this will go for a reboot. Let's start. The image is successfully should be created. It will take a couple of minutes time. The snapshot request or the AMI request has been taken. Yeah. So now let us proceed with the next important one, which is we need to go ahead with this load balancer and auto scale. So here let us create this load balancer. You see this next step which we need to do, create a target group. Okay, I'll create this internet facing target group. Create a target group. So here you select the instances, group name. I can say application load balancer, ELB. Okay, application ELB, port 80, and VPC is example VPC. Scroll down, health checks. Okay, just select your EC2. It is all okay. Scroll down. No need to do any optional. Again, you can see. Yeah. Just select this application load balancer. VPC. Yes, say next. Okay. Okay, the next one is create a load balancer. You see this one, a load balancer, create a load balancer, create, select this application load balancer name. I'll say ABP application ELB, scroll down, address is V4, select your VPC, example VPC, scroll down, maybe 1A and 1B, please select this subnets. So these are public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. You need to select public subnet 1. Here you can say public subnet 2. Scroll down, IP, you can say security groups. You delete this one and select application load balancer security. Please go through this one application and create the listener. We need to create a listener now. Scroll down. Okay. Create a target group. This is the part of creating a listener. So here just select instances, target group name, let's say creating listener app group. So example VPC, alright, scroll down, HTTP, yeah, so this target group, just create them. So don't select anything, it's running, both of them are okay, target group, yeah. So once this is done, go back and refresh, you should see your target group, yeah, app group is there, scroll down. Okay, no need to have add-on services and of so this is the final summary. Scroll down, create a load balancer, yeah, so load balancer is getting created, it's provisioning, it will take a minute's time, right? So now next is we have created the load balancer. Let us go with creating an auto scaling group. This is very important now. We need to modify the launch template actually. So here, just scroll down, go back to auto scaling. So launch configuration template is already done. We need to modify that template. So how to modify? We can use create auto scaling group. Okay. So I can provide auto scaling group name as, let's see here, maybe I can say auto scaling group launch template. You can use this example ID. But here we need to modify some parameters. Especially click this particular one and ensure that this is your template. Click this template. What we need to do? Yeah, your AMI needs to be modified. So under actions, modify template. Yes, okay. Your OS images, which was there, right? You can select my AMIs, which has been created. Web instance project. This is the one, right? You see this EC2 manager. Yeah, we are getting it done. We will see the status also. So, but select this web instance project. Scroll down and say rest all. Don't change anything. Don't change anything. Just say save. So successfully modified. You can see this one. Now once you select this example DB, you should see exactly the same AMI which you have created. Okay, so this load balancer is also should be available. Let us wait till all the actions have been created. So to go to AMIs, first thing is that verify. So this is your AMI ID 22BE. Yeah, this one 22. It should match exactly 22BE. Right. So go through and say next. And VPC, we need to say example VPC. In availability zone, see this one, in availability zone, you select this private subnet 1 and private subnet 2 after this. Example VPC, private subnet 1, this is public private subnet 1, minimum 2, subnet 2 should be there. This is right. Alright, so go next. Attached to an existing load balancer which we have already created. So that is your app group. Scroll down. Your health check should contain ELB. Scroll down and say next. You say desired capacity 2, minimum capacity 2, maximum capacity 2. Leave all the scaling process policies as it is. Say next. Say next, add notifications, see these tags. You have two instances should be created tags. Name and web server, we will give the tags. Add a tag, you can say maybe name and maybe what we call as web server. Right, this is the tag which will identify. Say next. So all things are done. Let me hope that my AMI is also done. You see this AMI? I should see. Yeah, it is available. See this one. Right. Go back. So this is my review screen. All done. Create auto scaling. So this will create two instances with the same capacity of our load balancer. So this one is operating capacity. You can go with the instances and see there are two instances which will be created very soon. So as of now, just wait. Desired capacity, operating the capacity. So you should see two instances getting ready here also. Yeah, two instances, web server. And once your load balancer is created, the load balancer endpoint should be your final what we call website. So let me go to the load balancer and capture my ELD endpoint. So this is my load balancer. Yeah, this is my DNS name is my endpoint. I just copy that. And this should be my website also. Once the instances are ready, you should see the website should be running. Yes, absolutely, this is running now. Okay, so you can see the query should also happen. Yep, perfect. So my load balancer is also running. Let me address all the things which has been done or not. My website is also running. You see this. So we have project overview. We have deployed the PHP application that is running on EC2 cloud. That with the load balancer, create a database. Yes, it can query the PHP application. MySQL database is also update your application parameters and select the application with public access to the backends. So we have launched this applications, the database in the what we call as the backend. Okay, so this ends or what we call as creation. So the final diagram should be somewhat like this particular one. Yeah, this is the one which we have done. So you can see here two EC2 web servers with the application load balancer. Your database is in private subnet, okay, which is having multi availability zone, and of course, yes, we have given the inventory app role to this particular, and also we updated in the parameter store also. So this is the end of the project. What we can do once you have completed your project, you can verify your website. This is your endpoint, and once you have done, you can submit the project. Okay, submit. Yes, you can submit your project, which should come for the grading. Okay, that's nice. 3 by 3. Congratulations and bye. So once you submit, you see all this 3 by 3, hence your project capstone project is done. Thank you everyone and bye.